This weekend marks 5 years since the Sacramento police shooting of Stephon Clark, and tonight the family is renewing their call for justice.
Stephon Clark! Our street! Our street! Our street! Let them know. Our street! Our street! Let the whole world know. Let the whole world know. It was so hard for him. You see his face?
Who can forget the massive protest sparked by the police shooting of Stephon Clark? Demonstrators shut down the interstate and kicked off a cry for justice heard around the world.
Stephon has woke up the nation. We're going to make Donald Trump and the whole world deal with the issue of police misconduct.
We're here to contest how the officers handled the situation. That man should have never been fired upon 20 times.
That was my brother 20 times. 20 times. 20 times. 20 times.
Remember, police had been chasing Clark following reports of someone breaking into cars. Officers say they believed he was armed, but found only a cell phone.
392 is now law in the state of California.
Governor Gavin Newsom signed AB 392, also known as Stephon Clark's Law, authorizing officers to use deadly force only when necessary in defense of human life, setting one of the highest bars in the nation for when police can kill, and all in response to Sacramento police officers shooting and killing a 22-year-old father now 5 years ago.
Yes, I see progress. Slow progress is better than no progress, and it's catching wave. You know, they say, I hear Devontae say all the time, Governor Newsom said, when California sneezes, the rest of the world catches the code. And that's what it is. The rest of the world has caught the code. Police will be held accountable.
Stephon Clark's mother points to the case of Sacramento's own Tyree Nichols. 5 black officers have now been charged with second-degree murder related to the January 7th beating that led to Tyree's death 3 days later in Memphis.
They can kill our babies, but they birth a legacy that they don't even know is coming.
Over the last 5 years, the Clark family has celebrated the grand opening of Stephon's House, a new community resource center. And even welcomed a new charter school and Stephon Clark playground in their Meadowview community.
You know I'm emotional, so I'm going to try to stay strong. It means a lot. It means so much that they really thought about my grandson.
His grandmother says she no longer lives at the home where her grandson was shot and killed.
I just miss them. I miss them so much. And like the days, his birthdays, and what they're doing for the legacy, it's like, you know, sometimes I think it's a dream, a nightmare.
We have to speak to people like you, Chris Thomas, on how to get our brother's story out there, to let them know he wasn't just some unarmed kid in his grandmother's backyard. No, he was a father, he was a friend, he was a brother. When I look back at how I got introduced to the scene and how my brother's name kind of got out there, and me jumping on the mayor's dais and protesting and going on Don Lemon and CNN and whatnot, what I see is that there's a lot of passion, but no real direction, you know, because I was still grieving. I never had the time to grieve. I just kept going after the death of my brother. So, you know, we're still hurt. All these schools are nice, playgrounds are nice.
But Stephon Clark notes none of it will bring his brother back.
We pissed off more than ever before. 5 years later, you know, you do something so bad, a law must be created, yet the officers still work the streets. You do something so bad where the body camera policy has to be updated, yet the officers are still on the streets. You do something so bad where the foot pursuit policy has to be updated and whatnot, and the officers who killed my brother are still on the streets. Everybody knows Stephon should be alive. You create the schools, you create the murals, you create the Stephon Clark Day of Reflection. The city financially supports the Clark family. The city pays the settlements to the Clark family. If you do something, all this is happening and coming out, 5 years later, the officers who killed my brother still walking the streets. We pissed off, we hurt, we love the legacy and all that, but we want justice and accountability on not some levels, but all levels, because we tired of being sick and tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And so Clark says a new state law and community outreach efforts are first steps.
I think California sneezed when it came to Stephon Clark law, but I think they did not catch the cold yet when it comes to the George Floyd Policing Act. And that's what we want to see. We want to see America catch a cold. by passing that George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Because if we don't get rid of the qualified immunity and officers are not directly held accountable, then unfortunately these atrocities will continue to happen.
You can read more of our coverage on the Clark case on our website, abc10.com.